Hey guys, this is Aaron and Zach from the Spillway. It's been a couple weeks since we've gotten a chance to get out there. We hope you enjoyed episode number 3.
Yep.
We had a little trouble.
Yeah,
uploaded.
We're a new venture, so learning as we go, not 100% set in. I'm not a videographer.
Right.
So we're learning as we go. We're trying to keep a good schedule, keep things normalized, keep things rolling out, but we're doing the best we can, so bear with us. But we really appreciate you
amateur.
Guys. Yeah, we're amateur.
Videographer.
We're trying. We're just trying to get some stuff out there. Nobody claimed we were professional.
Yeah. Well, then you said every time I had uploaded, it'd be like, 80% done.
Yeah, it also
done.
doesn't help that we don't have the greatest internet connection, and
yeah,
it's a thing. We're trying to be better, so we're trying to be more consistent.
Internet, what would we do without internet?
But bear with us, guys. We'll get there. We'll get it done.
We will.
Anyway, welcome back to the show. This is episode 4.
Episode
4 is on
compassion.
All right.
And compassion is something that can be very difficult for people to come to, I think, Zach. And, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about pride and ego, and we've all been guilty of having pride and
at some level,
and carrying ego when we kind of talked about the different levels of ego. And, how much should you have? How much little should you have? Because we said you still want to be confident.
Right.
But, we don't want to end up...
You don't want to be overly meek and mild, but at the same time, you don't want to be that guy.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. And compassion can come in so many ways. And I think... And we're human. We make mistakes. No one's perfect. Because it's the day we start pointing fingers at others is sometimes the day when we need to start pointing them back at ourselves.
I agree.
And it is possible for people to be remorseful and ask for compassion. And I think that's what makes us stronger people. I think there's forms of compassion in every concept of modern day, not just religion, but philosophy. And
just being a human.
Just being a human.
I'll admit, compassion's a hard one for me. It really is.
Uh-huh.
I am very much a believer that most people make their own hell. Truly. I can. Throughout my life, I have found that a majority of people, you can go through something, right? Like there can be something that comes out of the blue that legitimately was not your fault.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And okay, that happens. That can happen to anybody. But I've also seen firsthand people handicap themselves with something that has come up. Pick a thing: financial hardship, living arrangements, relationships, vehicle trouble, whatever. List goes on and on and on and on. Mm-hmm. But then they pigeonhole themselves and they become a victim off of it.
Yeah.
And then they just do this endless OODA loop spiral that they just keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and spiraling down, and they never get out of that spiral.
And we've talked about that on this channel before.
We touched on it.
Absolutely.
And so compassion's a hard one for me. Mm-hmm. I firmly believe we need to be compassionate. I believe it's human to be compassionate. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of, I break it off into 2 categories. Mm-hmm. Sympathetic and empathetic. I can be sympathetic to somebody's plight. Uh-huh. Sometimes it's hard for me to be empathetic and have that feeling of, oh my Lord, I'm so sorry this is happening to you, and this, that, the other. And that's a me problem. I get that. I understand that's a me problem. But I have a hard time because metricing it against stuff that I've went through in my life, but also metricing it against stuff people have gone through in other lives. Like we've talked about it on previous episodes. I think we've touched on it, that we live in a 90 percentile part of the world that we have access to clean drinking water.
We have.
Where there's a great... sorry, not 90%, for 10% of the world. Sorry, backwards. I think it's lower than, I think it's like 75% of the world or 80% of the world, something like that. Right. But that a large number of the world, more than half of the world, in retrospect, doesn't have access to clean drinking water.
Right.
Yet we complain when, money's a little tight, or we can't go on vacation, or we can't do this, or we can't do that. And truly first world problems. Now, don't get me wrong, hard is hard is hard. And if something's hard in your life, it can be hard. It can be something small as a hangnail, and still be hard. But I try to keep that metric, right, a little bit of gut check of like, am I overreacting? Am I whatever for me? And because of that, I tend to expect that of others,
Right.
which I probably shouldn't, because if you expect of others what you'll do, people will fail you every time.
Yeah.
However, I also expect a certain set standard, and I couldn't blatantly tell you what that is. Mm-hmm. I think it changes for situations.
Right.
But if you've got somebody coming to you, a good example. There was this person I knew, and they were a pseudo friend, and I think I may have even mentioned it here before on victimhood. And if I'm repeating myself, sorry, you're dealing with it. But we were friends on Facebook for years, and she kept having these issues where she couldn't find a job, and there was issues going on, and she was asking for help, and there were people, multiple comments. Hey, this place is hiring. Hey, this place is doing this, that, the other, blah, 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 for the first post. Next post she posted was, hey, I'm having a hard time finding a job, this, that, the other. I just need help. Nobody knows this, that, the other. So, oh, okay. A bunch more comments, you know. Hey, call me. Here's my number. I'll help you out. Blah, blah, yak, yak. No less than 20 or so people who were friends of hers. Mm-hmm. And years ago, her and I worked together. So there were people that I know were in the industry we worked in who would find her a job, who would help her find work. Third post. I need help. I can't find a job. So on and so. And it's like, okay, wow. At a certain, and then there'd be a couple more comments, and then 4 posts, 5 posts, 6 posts, no more than, or no less than 10 posts into it, continually complaining and saying she couldn't find work and all those things. And you had the first couple posts of people going, hey, not like, hey, I'll help you out, or hey, man, that sucks, sending prayers. No, like, this place is hiring at this address. I put in a word for you, go there. This place is whatever, but like detailed out. And that was just the ones that were public. That wasn't any messages she was getting on top of it all. So she chose to be a victim. So at first I was like, oh man, that sucks. Compassion. Oh man, that sucks. I'm sympathetic to it, right? I'll see what I can do from my end. Second post, okay, I'm a little less sympathetic, but you know, maybe she missed something on the first one. You know, this had the third, fourth, fifth, and there hits a point where I'm like, okay, I'm no longer compassionate. You're just choosing to be a victim. Right. You're choosing to have an issue.
Yeah, it's like we're seeking for the empathy only.
Yeah,
and I think
it's like fishing for compliments.
Yeah, it's like it being compassionate towards someone. I think is, you know, and especially in that instance, you're trying to be understanding here, but you just keep falling down every step along the way down.
And when you have a plethora of people, like not one or two, not a small amount, and you're like, I don't really know them, I'm not going to talk to them, I'm not going to take them out. No, when you have a plethora of people over and over and over again who are trying to help you in different ways, not like people saying the same thing, like, oh, go to workers' comp or whatever. No, tons of people giving you legitimate options. Yeah. And you just choose to be a victim, that's on you. Right. Like you in order to get out of something, I feel like you have to put a modicum of work into it.
Well, and absolutely, and I think you and I talked about in here, you know, and we've said this many times, where we are who we are.
Yes.
You know, and I just want to make sure I get my words here right. And we said where we grew up, that's our identity. That's how we know ourselves.
It's a piece, yeah.
It's a piece, and we always talked about learning from those mistakes, growing. That's the word we used in here. Is you got to sit and you grow from that.
You have to,
right? And I think there's times where you have to see action.
Yes, I agree.
In the instance of your friend with those posts, it's like
there was no action.
There was no action. There was nothing.
Actually, there was the lack of action. There wasn't even no action. There was inaction. She had an actionable thought of not doing anything. If that makes sense. That's kind of a weird way to say it, but inaction, being frozen and just being so spun up that you just don't know which way is up is one thing, right? That's dealable. You can work someone through that. But choosing to to not do anything is in itself an action, and it's choosing to be, choosing inaction.
I like that word you use there, up.
Yeah.
And I'm reading a book right now, and it's called Wrestling with God.
Okay.
And it's a good friend of mine sent it to me, and I was looking through it, and I've been reading it, and they sent it to me and said, hey, this is kind of a good read, and I think I'm past them reading it now. You know, they probably started reading it before me. It's kind of a funny joke. This book is just rocking my world of so many awesome things, and in the section today he was talking about Cain and Abel, and how when those instances come up, you know, we can sit and get down on ourselves so much. We know we made the mistake.
Yep.
We know it's there. Are you going to sit and look down and going to meddle down there and sit and find?
Are you going to
stew and not know what's up? Or are you going to look up, you know, and look at the things in front of you? Yep. Where's the action? Where's the action coming from? And your friend there, hopefully we'll say prayers for that friend too, because
this was years ago. So who knows?
So who knows?
I lost touch.
But
hopefully she's doing good. I wish the best for her.
We're still going to say a prayer for her.
Yeah,
absolutely. But when you look up, and the story of Cain and Abel is
wow. Oh yeah, brother killing brother out of envy and jealousy.
Right.
Like you don't get much more deep than that. I mean, a bond between brothers should be sacred.
Yeah, 100%. Well,
especially the visceral nature of it. Sorry, touching on a biblical
you're good.
story.
No, go ahead.
Don't get me wrong, guys. We're not a biblical podcast.
No,
we are. I am Christian. You are Christian. We are believers. I will not make apologies for that and try to hide that. But we're also not a Christian podcast. So just bear with us if we touch into Christian ideology.
Right.
But using it as a good example.
It's good history.
It is good history. Cain and Abel, the visceralness of beating someone to death with a rock. Like people... Cain and Abel is taught at Sunday school, right? Like
show up for the stoning,
right?
Yeah, who's here for the stoning?
Who's bringing the food? Stone like a biblical whore. Anyway, no, but beating someone to death with anything, but beating someone to death with a rock of all things is so. I'm going to use the word intimate, but what I mean by that is not to glorify it.
Right.
It is so. If anybody's ever served military-wise, or anyone has ever hunted, hunting's a good example. We'll use hunting because it reaches a broader audience. Sitting on a hill with a rifle with a scope at 100 yards or more. It's not a disassociation, but there's a level of almost disassociation when pulling the trigger on something you're seeing through a scope.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel the recoil of the rifle.
Right.
You know that you've killed that thing, right? You've hunted or whatever, but you've ended a life.
Yeah.
But it really doesn't hit you till you get up to the life.
Mm-hmm.
With a rock, you're watching the light drain from that individual's eyes as you cave their skull in, for lack of a better term. And it's a little graphic, I apologize, but I want this to carry weight, is my point, because this is a tale. This is a tale that's taught almost as a pass along. Like especially like think the Sunday school, right? Mm-hmm. Sunday school stuff. They teach Cain and Abel. Now they don't get too far into it because as children we don't want to just scar them, but they teach Cain and Abel. But I feel like it gets. I feel like that story loses a lot of its weight.
Yeah.
Because it's people lean into the envy and the jealousy side, and they lean into the this is a story about a principle, right? It's like, okay, yes, it is. 100% is. But that principle carries so much more weight when you realize that Cain beat his brother to death. Mm-hmm. He viscerally and violently took a stone and caved his blood brother's skull in for malice and hatred and anger towards him.
Yeah. Jealousy and
envy and rage off of that. Like That is insane.
It's pretty wild.
And it carries so much more weight when you actually think about it. If you've ever watched some rough stuff, a UFC fight is a good example. I'm not a UFC watcher, but I've watched a couple matches.
Yeah.
But watching those guys go at it, and that's a controlled environment that, yes, guys get hurt, but there's medics on staff, and there's referees in the ring, and there's there's availability, and there's
when you're done, you're done. You can
when you're done, you're done. I mean, do people get hurt? Do people take it too far? It happens, but there's padded gloves and things like that, and there's training involved, this, that, the other. Remove all that and just have two guys go at it on the street with the intent to kill, and like you get a tenth of what watching someone go after somebody in real life is in that, and that's visceral. So you think of it through that lens, view it through that lens of you have to truly hate the individual you're going after, or you have fight or flight instinct. In this story, there was no fight or flight instinct. It was just hatred and anger.
Well, and hatred.
It's a lack of compassion.
Yeah, it's a lack of compassion, and I'm glad we brought that story up.
Yeah. Circling back.
And our anger can overpower us. Our sorrow and grief can turn into anger.
Absolutely.
And oh man, and what a extra burden we put on ourselves, holding in that malice, that, as you've said, and that hate. And it's that opposite of compassion, because there are people in this world that life's going to happen.
Yeah, 100%.
Tough decisions
to everybody.
Tough decisions are going to come up. There's so many people in this world that are scared to make a decision because of, if they make this decision, well, what if the what if could happen if I stay in this, and I can see right now that something's wrong, I'm identifying it, but it's kind of like trusting that gut feeling. It's like, if you don't trust your gut feeling, sometimes the prices are going to cost you way more in the long run than not trusting it. And we've talked about that on here before, and it's just, and we get it. People are scared.
Absolutely.
Because, well, what if this scenario turns into this place, or what if this, I kind of know me a little bit, and I sit there, and it's like, am I willing to put others suffering in my way because I'm unwilling to come to the plate and be like, my gut's telling me this, and I'm sitting here, and I'm in over my head. I'm in quicksand. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to come. And you get scared.
Yeah.
At some point in all of our lives, someone was scared of something.
Oh, yeah. Fears, listen. You ever meet anybody who says they're never afraid? They're A, either full of it, or B, they're a sociopath. One of the two, or psychopath. I always mess those two up.
Yeah.
But
you have no feelings.
Either something's broken upstairs, or they are just flat out lying to you. More often than not, they're just lying to you.
Yeah.
Recognizing fear is a good thing. There's a book I really like. It's called The Gift of Fear. It was done by a FBI analyst, not pathologist. Wrong verbiage. Analyst, FBI analyst, and he takes excerpts of why fear is actually beneficial and can save you. Now, he takes extreme circumstances that he's dealt with and seen firsthand and things like that, but he breaks it down. And it's an amazing book on how to understand what you're going through, harness it. It's kind of like the adrenaline dump. Have you ever gone through something where you just get that big dump of adrenaline?
Oh, yeah.
Like just a stressful situation, a car wreck or whatever, right? You just get that massive dump of adrenaline. The first time that happens to you, you don't know how to deal with it. And you're not used to the aftermath of coming down off of the adrenaline, because it's like coming down off of a high. And if you don't know how to harness it and use it, you will falter and fail at what you're doing, because you can't. It's like, I've never been high, so I can't really equate it to that, but I don't want to say like being drunk. It's like, it's like having way too much caffeine.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. You're jittery, you're shaky, you really can't keep level, and you can't think and process, and the black starts closing in, and your world gets this small, and you start really hyper focusing, and there's just, and literally black outlines start coming in like a movie screen.
I know. I I know
You have to,
the
and
feeling
if you don't
exactly
know,
what you're talking about.
yeah, and if you don't,
Exactly.
if you've never had that happen to you, you don't know how to work past it.
No.
You have to work past it. It's one of the
Yeah.
reasons Navy SEALs, for example, never served, just familiar with some of the training aspects from documentaries and stuff. So if I'm wrong, correct me. But from my understanding, Navy SEALs train, they literally tie themselves, tie their hands, tie their feet, and throw them in a pool. And they won't let them drown. Technically. But they come close.
Yeah.
Like, guys pass out and they bring them back. But they have to work through that closing of panic. And they have to work through that panic and keep level. And it's that same principle, that adrenaline dump. All that to be said, right? I'm getting off topic and tangent like we always do. Or like I always do. But you have to work through things.
Yeah.
And it is good to be compassionate towards your fellow man. You don't have to agree with them.
No.
You don't have to.
You could be mad as hell at them.
Yeah, you can be staunchly the
Upset with
opposite of what they're dealing with and think them dumb.
Yeah.
But there's still, I believe, for humanity's sake, a level of compassion you have to have, as long as it does not interfere with sound judgment.
Right.
Now, a good example of that would be you come across a guy who's begging for money, and you know for a fact he's a crackhead, right? You know for a fact he's sketchy, he's tweaking, screaming at himself, screaming at others, whatever. You can be compassionate about the situation.
Yeah.
Probably not a good idea to go give that guy $5 and try talking to him. Probably not.
Give him a burger.
Yeah. So there's a compromise. Give him a burger. But also understand there's a chance that he's going to throw it back in your face. I've seen that before. Because it's not money for what he really wants.
Right.
But being like, okay, no worries, have a good day, bud. And backing off.
Right.
But there's a level of humanity and compassion you can have.
Oh.
But don't let it override your smarts.
Right.
Don't let it override a situation.
Well, and especially, when you're getting a situation and we're scared.
Yeah.
You get over it, then you don't know what decisions you're going to make.
We start becoming self-focused.
We're so self-focused, and especially if it involves other people, and you're like, oh my gosh, if I keep going at the rate I'm going, and I'm doing this, and there's other people involved, and it's like, God, do I consider their needs, or do I just go in selfishly and be like, nope, ignoring the gut feeling, whatever. I am terrified, all is hell to do, and I don't know where to go. I don't know where to escape, and I've gotten myself here, but you just get to that point where, it's hard to think.
Yes.
And you said that, and you get in that instance, even talking to those Navy SEAL guys, and it's like, well, am I going to sit here and panic, or am I going to try and control the situation? The decisions we make always have a reaction.
Always.
There's always going to be a result of it. And I think, especially if we make decisions that we regret.
It's Newton's law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Things that can go bad will go bad.
Yeah, that's Murphy's law.
Murphy's law, and can go from bad to much worse.
Yes,
and even more.
It's a progression. And if you think you're at rock bottom, you're not. You can always get lower.
Right. Well, and I think for that true person, and I think through sorrow and grief, that goes to show us we're human. And I think, and I'm reading this book on the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, and it's a brilliant book, and I love reading it. And when the guy gets into it, he said, from that sorrow and that grief, it kind of ties it into karma.
Okay.
And how the actions you provoke on other people, and the things that you do definitely will come back in some form, shape, or way, and either haunt you or
reap what you sow.
You reap what you sow. Absolutely. That's the biggest thing in the absolutely.
And that is cross cultures, and you reap what you sow.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm sitting there thinking, this honest person, they made mistakes. They know they made mistakes. They have regrets for it, and some of the worst, kind of like you said, the darkness comes in. And you freeze, you can't move. I write about this in this essay that I've been writing, that I've been telling you about. Man, I think it's on like 70 pages right now. I'm almost done with it.
There you go.
I am so excited to get this thing done and edited and put out there, but I'm getting off on a tangent there. But, to show for someone to have compassion for someone, we talked about that action.
Yes.
And how are we looking up? From that book I said, are we looking up? Look up to the heavens, look up to the sky, the sun, the moon.
Just look up.
Just look up. Don't sit and dwell and mope. How can I move forward? And I think how we move forward in our actions.
Yep.
And I think, and it comes back to that karma is well, I can sit here and be angry and mad and upset at the world and tell everyone to screw off and get away from me. Or can I try and redeem myself through actions to show people that I made a mistake.
Yep.
I'm sorry. My sorrow and my grief have got me to the lowest point in my life. But you know, through those actions, what are the changes? The actions. I like the word actions more.
It's appropriate.
You know, yes, we see how you were, but what are you doing to improve upon it?
Right.
You know, I'm sitting here in this past year. I felt like I've been in terrible darkness, and you know, for a lot of people that sounds cliche, you know, but for other people, man, it's a crazy world out there.
Absolutely.
And there's shit going on everywhere, and you don't know what someone's going through. God knows. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. God
Absolutely.
knows what you're going
Absolutely.
through, but you and God knows. No one else can come to that level because they don't know.
And there's a point, especially as men, which this podcast is geared towards men.
Yeah.
Ladies, if you watch, please, by all means, please watch. You'll get some out of it too. But it is a podcast about brotherhood and bonding. And
Ladies, comment. Tell us if we're full crap.
yeah, right. But as men, there's a stigma, even in this day and age, to bury it, to keep it bottled, to men don't show emotion, men don't cry. And to a point, I believe that that's a healthy-ish, depending on circumstance, way to look on things. Men should be equipped to deal with stress, should be equipped to deal with things, and should be equipped to charge head first and deal with the situation and bury those emotions for now.
Ego.
But there is a time that it is appropriate to work through those.
Yeah.
Don't permanently bury everything. Don't not talk about things that bother you. Don't never work your way through something that's really eating at you. There's a time and a place to do that, and if there's a stressful situation, not the time or place to work through.
Right.
Get through the fight. Proverbial, not literal fight, proverbial fight.
Yeah.
Win the fight, and then debrief, and then work through your issues, and work through what's bothering you. But you need to have that portion. And you need to be compassionate with your fellow man working through that. If you got a buddy who calls you and says, man, I'm just having a hard time, I don't know what, don't be like, man, that sucks. Anyway, you want to go to the movies on Wednesday? No. Work through it with him. Be like, man, I'm sorry what you got going on. Have him tell you, even if it's the dumbest, most trivial thing in the world.
Right.
Depending on your relationship with him, you probably could tell him.
Yeah.
Like if you came to me with some stupid stuff, I'd be like, bro, that's stupid, but here's why. And here's why you're I don't want to say overreacting, but for lack of a better term, overreacting to this thing. But hey, if you feel that way, let's work through it.
Yeah.
Like, you can be harsh and you can be real and you can be blunt, but you can also be compassionate.
Yeah. Well, you know, and we talked about it can be very hard to show someone compassion because you probably hurt someone they love, someone they care about. You hurt my brother.
Yep.
You hurt your family.
Yep.
And that hurt comes from so many places.
It's deep seated.
And it's very deep seated. And we talked about making mistakes and stuff. And the perfect example of showing compassion, you know, my oldest brother got himself in a situation 17 years ago. He's been in prison ever since. Yeah. His kids have felt terrible repercussions from it and have struggled through it since they were little. You know, the power of being a dad is huge.
Yeah.
It's huge, you know, and in the instance of my niece and nephew, you know, they always had an uncle, they had their granddad, you know.
They had fatherly figures.
We had fatherly figures. We weren't going to let them go alone. But, you know, and that's great. Yeah. Heck yeah. Uncles and grandpas out there that are taking a role of a dad.
Absolutely.
Bless you guys. Keep rocking through it. Keep doing what you're doing. Tell those nieces and nephews you love them every day.
Absolutely.
But you can only do so much as the uncle and the grandpa
Right.
because there's that dad
Well,
figure.
you come up
is so
with the questions.
huge.
Hey, where's my where's my dad?
Yeah,
I grew up without a dad. I had those questions growing up. Like, there were men. So I don't remember if it was a book or a opinion piece or something. It may have even just been a conversation that I was having with somebody who was way more learned than I am, way more educated than I am. And they said that typically in situations where there's a lack of a father figure, more often than not always, but more often than not, men should, but also do step up to fill that void.
Yeah.
And I've got a handful of guys that I grew up with that took the role of fatherly figures.
Who was that?
That
uncle, grandpa,
No,
dad,
no. So granddad, yes, my granddad did. My granddad was there. He stepped in a lot of the things. But no, a lot of them were just friends of the family.
Really?
Yeah, friends of the
Cool.
family that like took that role, taught me, how to talk to girls, taught me how to be a gentleman, taught me how to go shoot guns, taught me how to be a man, taught me how to change a tire, taught me
chivalry.
Yeah, taught me chivalry, taught me the building blocks of being a man. But where most guys in theory should get it from one or two men, like their granddad, their uncle, their father, those core family individuals. I had a group of men who imparted wisdom into me from all walks of life, from military to law enforcement to chefs to all walks of life.
Right.
Guys, and I took what I needed from them to build myself. And they saw that need and that hunger, and they stepped up.
Right.
And there's a lot of times when you talk to guys who grew up without a dad, they find those lack in other men.
Right.
And they take those pieces and they get taught those pieces to build themselves.
Yeah.
And it's a culmination effect. And, having those building blocks is highly, highly important. I heard an interesting thing that a son can grow up without a father, but not a mother. And a daughter can grow up without a mother, but not a father. For some reason, that opposite sex interreaction of rearing is hyper important for proper development.
Yeah,
Guys can turn out right and okay without a dad, but if they grow up without a mother, they typically there's something off. Usually, there's something more they have to work past. And women, especially growing up without a father figure, there's usually a level of issues there that arise that they have to work extra hard to get through. Right. So both of the sexes not having the opposite sexes. So it's super interesting.
Right.
The mentality of it.
Definitely like to see some research. And some
I can't remember where I found it. I'll have to try to find it and send it to you. But
that'd be very interesting.
It was an interesting exit where I was going, that that kind of
interesting.
That kind of makes sense.
Right. Right. Well, and sitting there and reality is reality.
Yeah.
And you can't hide from it. It's because it's your reality. In this instance with my brother, and he's been in prison now for 18 years. Does he deserve his punishment? Of course he does.
Right.
He committed a terrible crime. The but the dignifying thing about it is he came clean. He didn't try and hide it.
Yeah.
He knew he did wrong. He admitted it. It's like, no, I committed these crimes. I'm coming willfully. I'm not going to sit here and hide it and let it continue. And I suppose if there's one dignifying thing, but and my brother left me high and dry. He left my parents high and dry. He left my other brother high and dry. It's like,
it was definitely an impact on the family.
Yeah, a huge impact on the family, and I go and visit him. Yeah. And I've done it more recently, in the first 10, 12 years he was in prison, I try and make it in on his birthday every now and then, and life gets going. I was trying to develop who I was and get busy, and things
and it is okay, you are not responsible for him putting himself there.
Right. And these past 3 years, I've finally started going and seeing him more often.
Trying to make a point of it more.
And trying to find that we want to call it compassion,
Yep.
right? And the more times I go and see him, I'll go talk to him now, and that dude has been through more grief and more sorrow, and there's not a darn thing he could do about it to make up for it. But he hit rock bottom. He sat there.
Yeah.
He said, "You got God,"
Yep.
you know. But I go and I talk to him, and I see him, and I hear his story out, and he'd be the first one to tell you,
Yeah.
I admitted my crimes. I feel a lot of grief and
Doesn't
sorrow
make
and remorse
excuses
for
for
it.
it.
That doesn't make excuses for it. He knows it's done.
No.
And when I talk to him, and he's sincere, and every time I go talk to my brother in prison, and if it's hard to go talk to someone in a prison.
Oh yeah,
it's not.
Prison atmosphere is not a comfortable place.
Prison
to be.
atmosphere is not a comfortable place to be. No, it is
Absolutely
not. And and he did this terrible thing, and I sit there and I talk to him more, and I go and see him. Every time I leave there, I'm so glad I went and go saw him. I can hear the remorse in his voice.
Oh yeah,
I can hear the sorrow and the grief and where he's coming from. Now, he'd give anything to change it.
oh yeah.
He can't.
No, you can't go back.
That's the reality of it. We can't go back and change it. But when I talk to him, it's not even like he's asking for compassion from me.
No.
I can see with my eyes and hear with my ears and in my heart, and I can see it. And
Well, and especially in a prison atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
You being there, giving that compassionate moment, is a touch of humanity that he does not get behind those walls.
And I don't have to. I could easily tell him, screw you.
Yeah.
You hurt your kids. You hurt you
Yeah.
hurt our family.
You can be
put us
angry
all
and
in.
hateful towards
I
him.
could be as angry and upset as all I want. And you did this. And how dare you? And what were you thinking? And every swear word I can call into. What good does that do?
Well, I guarantee he's done worse to himself.
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely guarantee.
You
100%.
couldn't do anything that would be worse than what he's already done.
I'm going to take him out and kick his ass and don't ever do anything like that again. And I'm sitting there and I'm like,
It's not reality.
What good does that do? It does nothing. It doesn't prove anything. Does that show me that I can keep anger built inside and be upset with my brother, and 18 years have gone by and I can't
And
do
who
that.
does it hurt?
And who does it hurt? Us.
It hurts you.
The aggressor. Mm-hmm. He's already been through the crap. There's nothing else that can be done to him.
It's really interesting.
Nothing.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here when we're talking about this stuff. I'm not sitting here from a place of, oh, I'm perfect. I don't ever get angry. I don't. Man, I got anger issues. I get it. I got rage issues. I enjoy fighting. I get it. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But as I get older, as I go through life, as I go through more, as I had my children and have had to learn,
Right.
and then as I'm teaching and raising the next generation, I have had to learn and come to the realization. I fail all the time. Don't get me wrong. I get pissed off at my kids. I shouldn't, but I do.
Right.
I hit my walls. I hit the end of my ropes, and this past week was kind of rough. And there was a couple times I was a little bit harsher than I should have been. And trying to be a better father every day, but. Have you ever noticed that people who are just angry and hateful all the time, they're not only miserable to be around, they project an aura, as hippie as that sounds, they project like an aura of just...
You have a wonderful aura, by the way. There.
Thank you. I just, I knew that was going to come bite me in the ass. They project this field that makes you not want to be around them before they ever open their mouths, before you ever get to know them, before you even say, hi, my name is X, Y, and Z. You can just pick those people out of a crowd. So almost the same as the people who are overly happy. I put them in the same category, just on different spectrums. You come across those people that you go to order your coffee. I don't drink coffee, but let's pretend for a minute, right? You go to order your coffee and they're like, hi, my name's Jenny. I'm having a wonderful day. You're like, Jenny, I need you to come down. You're here. I need you to be down here. You are way too happy. And honestly, I'm getting angry because of how non-angry you are. So there's the balance, right? But it's that spectrum of those people you're like, oh God, they're so happy. I don't want to be around them just because they're exuding. Same thing with hate.
Yeah.
Same thing with malice and anger and just evilness. And it seeps from them.
Yeah.
Ferngully. The movie Ferngully.
Ferngully? I love that movie.
You remember the smoke monster?
Yeah.
Smoke oil monster?
What was that guy's name?
Tim Curry.
Hexus.
Tim Curry voiced it, but Hexus.
The Hexus.
So you remember how he like exudes that nasty?
Yeah.
That's hateful people. You can feel it. You can feel it. The anger and the malice and the hatred, and just it taints the air around them.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just like, ugh, get away from it.
Well, absolutely. Well, you don't. And someone could say, "Well, that's your brother. It's your family. You have to."
No, you don't.
Bullshit.
No, you don't. Just because you're born with them doesn't. So, here's a great one. Do you know the saying "blood is thicker" or blood is thicker than water? Mm-hmm. Do you know the actual saying where that actually comes from?
Where?
So people view blood as thicker than water. I'm assuming you're like most people, where you think that your blood relatives are thicker than people than water, right?
Yep.
That because of the actual saying is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. That is the actual traditional original saying, and it got shortened and completely changed the meaning of it to opposite. What it has meant is people you choose to associate with, friends, family you choose, are more family, more blood to you than people who you are born with as family. That is the actual traditional original saying. Right. And it got changed through time somehow to mean the opposite of its whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild stuff.
It's amazing, man.
Well, and I sit and look now just in my life, my very best friend, and he's a big supporter of us. Love you, PJ. Yep.
Shout out, Paige.
Him and I have been friends for, I'm 38 now. 18 years.
Yeah.
17 years, somewhere like that. And there's a day him and I send a Snapchat to each other. I don't think him and I have been without communication in a day in years. I can't even think back when him and I were actually joking about it the other day. His wife will even say, "Hey, PJ, your boyfriend's here," and I'm like, "I'll take that as a."
I'll
take that.
My buddy Red, we jokingly call each other our first wives because our wives will be like, "Are you talking to your first wife?" Yep.
No. Exactly.
We talk to each other every week, like clockwork.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, have to. I mean, you keep those relationships.
And I think
that's a chosen family member.
Yeah, and I think things can go south fast, especially if you're scared and you don't know what to do and you get trapped and you lose your confidence. And friends can turn on friends.
Oh yeah, you're gonna lose people in life.
Yeah,
that is part of
put
growing.
your whole faith and trust in you and all this stuff, and the nature
people are gonna let you down.
How dare you and stuff, and we're gonna let people down.
Oh, absolutely.
And
two-way street.
And I think that is the cool thing about compassion is when people let us down, and when we let people down in our hearts. If we're, I don't want to say truly humbly and sorry, because I think the sorry eventually comes.
Oh yeah.
But it's that sorrow and that grief, and you catch it and you're like, whoa.
Well, it enables you to
where did that come from?
Yeah.
And it comes from a dark place within all of us. And I think that's where if there's people that I've hurt and put their faith and their trust in me, and and these are things that I've done in my life, and there are parts when those times have come up, I sit there and think, oh, what did I do? How was I so stupid? I let my ego or my pride get the best of me. I was terrified. I was scared. I didn't know where to turn. I'm in over my head. I'm in that quicksand. I'm trying to build up from it. I'm trying to get out of it. And then you panic.
Yep.
And that moment of panic comes, and those decisions we make can end up hurting people we care about the most. And
you lash out, or there's a lot of different layers to it.
Yeah, you make decisions that you might think are the right time, but you don't know. And I think you got to have hope that you make the right decision. Yeah. And sometimes the right decisions do come with tears.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes that right decision comes with sorrow. And we won't know what that right decision is until after the fact.
Nope.
Instance with my brother, he made a terrible decision. If we could go back and rewind to try and figure out what the problem was, and then maybe we can fix that, and then we could have saved ourselves the past 18 years of grief and anger and all that stuff. But that's the reality of it. That's the life of it.
You can't go back, no matter how much we want. You can't.
And you want to so much, and I think that's where we can't go back, but we can make the actions to improve. We can make the actions to show
move forward.
Yes, and I think that's just it. You have to move forward.
You have to.
You have to look up. You have to move forward. You have to learn to let go of the past, and the past can be a hard thing to let go of, man. That can be one of the hardest things because it's lingering, especially if you hurt someone. It's so hard to let go, and you go to and you know, I would do anything to make those amends and to show you that no, that's not who I am. That's not the person who I was. I might have been there at the time, you know, and you get consumed with greed and concern and you're scared and you don't know where to go, and it's going to happen in everyone's life.
Oh, yeah.
No one's
immune.
No one's immune to it. There is going to come
being human.
Yeah, there's going to come a time in your life where hard decisions and relationships are going to fold and things are going to get there. It's going to happen. If you've never experienced that, then keep rocking at life, man. Don't you stop doing what you're doing.
There's a guy I watch.
That's very far people that have ever accomplished that.
No, there's a guy I watch, Meat Eater. He's big into the hunting community, right? Like he's I can't remember the dude's name, but he has a concept called suffering.
Ooh.
Called the suffering. When he's out on a hunt, there's a portion where the weather turns crappy or he's just coming up zeros, coming up empty, can't find his quarry, right? Whatever. And he calls it the suffering. And he has this concept of it being a necessary part for a successful hunt. Why I bring that up, I think suffering is a successful part of being human. I think we all have to suffer at some level to be able to put ourselves in the shoes of our fellow man and to be able to have compassion. Like you said earlier about having that sorrow, you have to have gotten to that point to understand where somebody's at that point. To better help, you have to have been broken down.
There can be no compassion without suffering.
No.
It doesn't exist.
No, because you have no metric on it. You can't understand. You come to me and be like, hey man, I'm feeling really crappy because I don't know, the woman of my life left me, right? And if I've never been through a breakup, I've never even dated, I can't understand where you're coming from. You know? If I've never been through a situation that was so browbeating and demeaning and just depressing, I can't understand where you're coming from.
Right.
You know, there's a fine line between making it about you, don't make it about you, listen. But if you can't connect with that individual about where they're coming from, you just do a lot of this. Sucks. Yeah, crazy. Wow. Like just catch phrases, right? And you're not doing anything.
No.
You're not, other than listening, and maybe that's needed. You can be a listener, even if it's something that you have no idea about. But if you've ever been sorry, if you've ever been sorrowful, if you've ever just been beaten down with your emotions and cried so much you found more crap to cry about to get it all out,
right.
or been so upset you're trying to find things to be angry about to get it out. If you've never hit that point in your life, you're going to have a very hard... I'm not going to say you can't, because there are people out there who are natural empaths and can. But you're going to have a very, very, very hard time coming to somebody at their level who needs help, and you're going to have a very, very hard time being compassionate for your fellow man.
Well, and I think being a compassionate person tells a lot about our character and who we are. You know, and I've got to a point in life where I've disappointed people. You know, and... Were those my intentions to do that? No, of course not. Those were my intentions. It's no one's intention.
Well, maybe some people are, but
doubtful. Doubtful. But you know, I got to that point, and I, back at the times when those happened, you know, I didn't know where to turn. I was scared. I didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
I was fearful of the what ifs, and well, I saw what my brother did, and look right here. I'm not saying I'd make those same mistakes, but I saw when he couldn't escape and he didn't know where to go, and then he made the dumb decision that he made. And I was like, oh man, is that going to be me? Am I going to make a repeat pattern and make a dumb decision that we're going to regret and end up in jail for 10 years?
Right. You had that trauma.
That trauma.
Of seeing him go through that, and even something trivial that honestly that was never on the books plays in your head going, oh God.
It does.
Am I going down the same path? Is this how it started for him?
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, and now that I've grown from it and I've learned from it, and the growing piece, and it's like, yeah, you know, those are there. I'm not going to run and hide from it.
No.
I'm not going to sit and live in fear of it.
Right.
Am I remorseful? Yeah. Do I have sorrow and grief? Probably some of the worst grief and sorrow I've ever experienced in my life. But I sit there, and then we talked about it, and it's like, sometimes you have to have those conversations, and you go up to those people you hurt and just be like, hey, look, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Hardest thing in the world is eating crow. Hardest thing in the world is going to somebody and being like, I was wrong.
I was wrong, and admitting it.
And even if you don't get that relationship back, even if they don't forgive you, forgiving yourself and allowing the possibility of forgiveness,
right,
is huge.
That olive branch, opening up that door and just be like, you know, I know who I made that mistake, but watch me grow. Watch me restart again. And you know, coming from, even if you're coming from a religious Christian point of world, you know, I got to believe that God puts us in the right places at the right time.
Oh, absolutely.
He doesn't put us in the happiest places at the happiest time. He doesn't put us in the saddest places at the saddest time. He puts us in the right place at the right time. We may not know what that right time is. And granted, I know, right, we talked about it, not quite the Christian podcast.
When I said that, I want to caveat that, because I was thinking about that. And I'm not saying that, when I say we're not a Christian podcast, I'm not saying it like we're not a Christian podcast. We're gonna have Christian undertones, guys, because of our beliefs. If that's not you, I apologize that you are slighted. And if that loses us viewers, okay, cool. I'm sorry. But we're also not going to hide our beliefs.
No, of course
not. And we're not going to hide the building blocks. And I wouldn't. Would you guys want us to? Would you guys want us to hide something to not be real, who we are?
The truth.
Or would you like us to have open dialogue where we don't hide things and we just talk about stuff?
Right.
I personally, and I'm talking to a camera, so, you know, whatever. I'm talking to you guys, but you're not here. I would rather have somebody be honest
with me,
even if I disagree with all of what they're saying.
Yeah.
I would rather have it be from a place of honesty and being real and legitimate instead of being fake just to hold on to people listening to it.
Exactly.
So when I said that, I wanted to caveat that.
Well, it's a good thing we rallied back.
It's a circle. Anyway,
exactly. You know, and I think when we're sitting there, and I think, I can sit and dwell in the past. I have the grief. I have the sorrow. Or am I going to grow from it? Yep. Am I going to sit there and God has me in the right place. He has me at the right time. And this, my favorite word, shine.
Yep.
You know, I've said that before. Gotta be shining, man. That can be taken a lot of different ways. But, you know, I can sit in the grief and the sorrow, or I can come up to people and say, you know, I'm not necessarily asking for compassion, but I want you to know I care about you so much. I'm here to say my apologies. I know I've hurt you, and I know I've been there. I would do anything to move forward and make it up. But, you know, how can we do that if people are unwilling to do that?
Right.
To show compassion. And even in myself, I put my own self in those shoes. If someone comes to me needing compassion, an actual person from truth to their heart, I like to think in that situation that, yes, I can be that compassionate person. Because no one's perfect.
No.
We're all going to break hearts. We're all going to upset people. I'm sure the older we get and the more those instances come up. But what a beautiful thing it is to show someone compassion that truly is in need of it. And it's in their heart and in their mind, and they're truly there. and it's a hard thing to do. I get it, but life is hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And like I said back here before, God's not going to put you in the happiest places and that's going to be the right thing. In fact, God's going to put you in the situations that are so tough and they're so hard.
Absolutely.
And we're going to get in there and he's going to say,
even if you're the one who put yourself in those situations.
Yeah. That now the devil, Satan, Lucifer, that entity, that being, if that's your thing, right? They're going to want to give you everything you want. The greatest movie I've made with Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino.
The Devil's Advocate. Yep, great.
If you have
great
not
movie.
seen The Devil's Advocate, you've got to watch The Devil's Advocate.
Movie.
The devil wants to make you comfortable and happy and give
kills.
you all thing and all those things because comfort kills. He's gonna pull the Job and he's gonna say, Satan's gonna say, you won't let Job won't stay faithful to you. He's gonna throw in the towel here, and God says, fine, do your worst to him, but don't leave Job alone.
Yep.
Throw everything you got at him,
but leave Job be.
Leave Job be. And Job got to a point where he didn't want to live anymore. He asked for God to take his suffering away from him. Keyword there. He asked God to take it away. Did he stop believing in God?
Nope.
No. Did he stop?
It actually strengthened.
It strengthened him. Did he lose his faith? No. He kept going, and Satan was just plucking and throwing him more. And I love the book of Job for that instance. Yes. The right place, the right time. Yep. Timing can be everything.
Absolutely.
You may hurt someone you care about and love very much. That might happen at one time. But maybe those events had to happen to set up that next action that's going to turn into something beautiful and something really cool. Because we can sit and be angry all the time and hold it in. And I have my regrets.
Oh, yeah.
I like to think that through compassion, I hope that I can redeem those. But I think me coming with an open heart and saying, hey,
right,
I truly am remorseful. I'm sorry. I'm not sitting here. I'm not bullshitting you. I'm not putting you through the ringer.
Yep.
Things happened. How can I redeem them?
I feel like compassion for others is not only for them. It's for us.
It's for us too. Yeah.
We grow and learn and advance through having that peace. Mm-hmm. Just like we learn and grow and advance by learning, growing, and advancing. It is all cumulative, all coming together. Mm-hmm. You have to have that to be able to progress. I hate the word progress, but progress as a human being.
Life is too short not to.
Yeah.
Am I going to sit and be pissed off and angry all the time and upset at the world and no, you hurt me, and then I'm going to sit here and make you know it and cast you out of my life and get the hell out of here?
Lack of forgiveness, which ties in with compassion.
Yeah. Well, like you said, sometimes even for ourselves, it's like, boy, now's the time to get moving. Now's the time to get shining. I hurt you. I'm sorry that you still have those ill feelings towards me. I wish you didn't. I wish deep in my heart that you didn't. But I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to hold my head up high.
Well, you can't drag somebody's non-forgiveness like a boat anchor.
No.
If you've apologized for it, truly, not just been like, honestly, I'm sorry, but truly apologized about something, right?
Whatever it was.
Had a conversation and tried to calm common ground. And that individual just refuses to forgive you for whatever it is, right?
It goes to show their character of what they truly are. Maybe
non-forgiveness in themselves doesn't mean you can't forgive yourself, and doesn't mean you can't move past it.
Yeah.
And you do not have to drag those people like a boat anchor behind you because they refuse to forgive you.
And to be a person like that, again,
it hurts them.
The ego and the pride comes in. It hurts them because it's like, maybe God set this situation up. If you're that God person out there, maybe God set that situation up to set you on the path that's gonna introduce you to the love of your life.
Nobody said that being human was going to be easy.
No, perhaps that's the instant where you come up and you forgave that person. You saw their generosity and their truth there. And it's like, boy, well, how can where's this going to benefit me? Right. Who knows where it's going to take you? We don't know. That's the beautiful thing of the unknown future. You're going scared, but man, you put a smile on your face. You're going anyways, and you keep it going. But that person that comes to you and is truly sorry for their actions, and if you show them compassion, and I hope you do, I really hope you do, but if you hold that in and stuff, boy, that could be the person that gets you to the next step and level the life where you want to be, or that could be that person that's going to show you when you come to that point in your life, and you come looking for compassion. It grounds you a little bit, and then you can learn from their mistakes so you don't make those mistakes, because that's what makes us better people. People are going to hurt us. It's happened my whole life. It's probably it's probably going to continue to happen, from the beginning of time. But don't be afraid to show people compassion.
No.
And sometimes you can forgive someone, and it's good to put them in the past. And that's nothing wrong with that.
One of my favorite lines from a movie.
Yeah.
Such a cheesy movie. Kung Fu Panda. I promise this has a point.
Kung Fu Panda.
Promise this has a point. Is Master Oogway when he's talking to Po, and he says, yesterday's history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. And that has stuck with me since that movie came out, and I'm like,
that's brilliant.
All this dumb kids movie that is hilarious but stupid, legitimate, just a dumb fun kids movie, has one of the most real pieces of advice I have seen in a movie in forever buried in it. And I'm like, why of all the movies does this one hit you like a Mack truck in this one little section? And it's like, it's true. It's absolutely true.
Yeah. Well, and I think we mentioned karma coming up here. Reap what you sow, our actions. If someone's coming to you truly humbly sorry, and truly repenting, that's going to reflect on them, because that's how karma works. We could just throw up the middle finger and fly the bird and just be done and be done with it and just be a total jerk and try and run from it. Or we can stand up to it like a man, stand up to it and own it and allow forgiveness to happen. And if you're that person on that opposite side, and I'm not sitting here saying it's hard to do that. I get it. Right. It's hard.
Well, and when we say forgiveness, we don't mean you have to forgive that person. Your relationship with that individual, whatever it looked like, is back to normal and back to whatever it was.
And
or you guys are best friends the next day. No, you don't ever have to talk to that person again. You truly don't.
No.
But forgiveness. To quote Confucius, forgiveness is divine. No. Better one. To quote Ninja Turtles, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. But anyway, I had to. I was like, right. But forgiveness is divine. It is truly that section is true.
Right. But even if if that's your plan and course of action, that's okay. But there might be instances where you might find in that compassion that, no, I get it. I don't want to cast you out from my life.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good.
Yes.
That both can bear fruit.
Yes, absolutely.
But
it's still compassion and still forgiveness.
Yes, but if you're that person that's like that, compassion doesn't exist. Nope, sorry, end of the line, drawn. Even though I see you're here, karma will reflect on that too.
Oh yeah, they're gonna reap that. They're gonna.
Yeah. It doesn't matter where it's at. And even in the meditation, you and I've talked about this, and then prayer meditation, things like that. And there was this Tibetan yogi, and I was sitting there telling a friend the other day about this. You can sit there.
Every time you say yogi, I think of those little strawberry things that are yogurt coated, and they're called yogis. That's all I hear. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry. I had to let you know every time that pops in my head.
Spiritual leaders, and he was sitting there. When you see that grief and that sorrow, and if you come to someone and you're lamenting, and you're sitting there, and you see that anger towards you, or that grief, or whatever is out there, take a look at that grief, and they say, take a look at it, smile at it, acknowledge its presence, wave at it, say hello.
Yep.
And then let it go and say goodbye.
Yeah, you don't have to own it.
You don't have to own it. Mm-mm. You can sit there and say, hey, shame, I see you there.
Yep.
But I'm going to let you go, and you're not going to stay there. And I think compassion is a beautiful thing. I hope people are compassionate towards me. I hope I am compassionate towards other people, because we're not all perfect, and life is a struggle. Not. But, you got to keep your head up. You got to keep moving forward. Yep. You got to keep shining, and you hope that people will and the better in people that they'll do that way.
Absolutely.
And be that way. And that's a great thing to do, you know. And one thing about me, especially, and people always ask me, you know, and I have skulls in my house. And no, I'm not a devil worshiper. No, I'm not a Satanist. I
have a dead Pelto on the wall. We're before a dead Pelto.
Yeah,
I have weapons of war hanging on this wall.
I got a human skull on my ring here, for crying out loud. And all that reminds me of
school decorations.
Great ones. Dude, Halloween's coming up.
I know.
Halloween
I'm so excited.
The best holiday.
We will have a less serious Halloween podcast. I promise you guys.
It's going to be great. But when I see that skull, it reminds me of my mortality.
Yeah.
And when I do that, you take every second, every day it's your birthday. If you know someone an apology, you go make that apology. It's kind of like that Nickelback song, If Today Was Your Last Day.
Today, and I know people, was your last. Sorry, not going to do it.
And I know people like, oh yeah, Nickelback and all that stuff. And I don't care if people like Nickelback.
No. First off, if you don't like Nickelback, don't subscribe. Nickelback's awesome. You're just on the bandwagon of haters, and you don't understand good music. Even though they're Canadian, we'll forgive them. Anyway,
those guys put on a great show, you know, and
absolutely,
you know, I'm not going to get on the Nickelback wagon here, but that was a really good song. And it really, you know, who is that someone you forgot to show compassion for? What if there was a time where you could go give, or what if there was something you didn't finish or you didn't complete? Because time is short, and every day we wake up, we need to acknowledge that as a blessing. And every day we wake up is a good day to show compassion for someone, because someone along the way you're going to want compassion from them.
Absolutely.
It's going to happen. It's in all our destiny, and it's okay. It's hard. It's the hardest.
It's going to be the hardest thing you do.
It could
Forgiveness is hard.
It could be
compassion is hard.
It could be extremely hard, but imagine living in a world where there was no compassion.
Oh, it'd be a miserable place.
Think about that for a minute.
It'd be a miserable, angry place. No one would live.
No one would live. It would be constant hatred. It would be Nazi Germany.
Not even. It would be worse than that.
Worse than that. It would be worse.
Because they had compassion for their own. Not. I want a caveat. Not trying to promote.
No.
Nazi Germany, don't take that way.
Yeah.
But they had compassion towards their own.
Yeah. How can we not have compassion? Even if you're sitting there and you're a religious person, I mean, even if it's Christianity, Jesus had the greatest compassion.
Absolutely.
Dying on a cross, you know, and if you're a Christian person, that's what's there. But even when you look in South Asian cultures and stuff, compassion is a key component of all of that. You know, it's huge, and it's okay. And I hope people embrace being compassionate. You know, and I was sitting here and I was throwing some music in there. Van Halen fan, love me some Van Halen. When Van Halen broke up with Roth and they had their feud and stuff, and I don't think that ever ended. I still think it's probably going on, even though Eddie's been gone now for a few years. But I was more of a Hagar fan because I love Sammy Hagar, right?
That was always a Slash. No, Slash is
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
Well, Guns N' Roses is another good example too.
Completely different. I was thinking Axl Rose. Axl Rose was a man.
But Van Halen with Sammy Hagar, they made great tunes, man. Yeah. I love all the eras of Van Halen. I do. They kicked Michael Anthony out of the band. Sammy Hagar, I was sitting there and they just constant crashing at each other. And it's like, instead of continuing to make more awesome music, you guys fought.
Yeah.
Instead of having compassion for one another, you ruined what probably could have been another 10 or 12 years of awesome Van Halen.
Music, yeah.
And especially when you look at the Sammy Hagar years, right? Sammy's sitting there, he had Chicken Foot, and he had The Circle, and he's playing with Joe Satriani, and he's still like, no, there was still some more to go there, but it was really cool. Before Eddie had died, he had met with Michael Anthony and Sammy Hagar, and they had made their peace. And he got to do that right before he died. Right. And that's so cool. But look at that malice they had towards when I was like, boy, you guys could have kept rocking.
Yep.
But no, they let it slip away, and there's proof that they could have kept rocking because they proved that they could still do it.
Well, look at one of the late greats, Ozzy. We just lost Ozzy. Ozzy had the passion and the love of the game. Yeah, Ozzy, man. He had not even that long ago he was on tour.
No,
like within the last 10 years he was on tour again.
Chair out there singing it up,
and he still had love for it. He still had heart and passion for what he did. Mm-hmm. One of my things I got told a long time ago, previous life, when I was a chef, was food made without love is tasteless.
Say that again.
Food made without love is tasteless.
I like that.
So you have to have passion and love in it. And
Yeah.
you can switch out love for passion.
Right.
Same vein.
Uh-huh.
They mean the same thing. If you don't pour your heart and soul into what you're creating, because food is creation. There's a reason why Jesus broke bread with his disciples, with people. The act of consuming food and that closeness with people is a very intimate, close moment with your
Right.
fellow humans. If you make loveless food, passionless food, it's ash. It's nothing. Doesn't exist. You can taste it. You can taste. Have you ever had somebody make you food out of anger? Like somebody throw you together a sandwich because they were pissed off at you, but they just threw you together something and they
Here's the mustard.
No, seriously. So I've had that happen to me. I was in a relationship once upon a time, and the individual I was with made lunch very angrily because we were not having a good time. That was some of the worst food I'd ever had. I could taste the malice in it.
Yeah.
Truly. And it wasn't nothing wrong with the
I
food,
get what
nothing
you're
like that. But you can feel it.
Yeah.
And it's just
Not a place you want to be.
not a place you want to be.
or a person. you
Take
wanna
that in life. Do everything with passion. Do everything with purpose. Always move forward. Never retreat. His is light. Mine is moving forward. Or yours is shining. Mine is moving
Hey,
forward.
I like, right? I'm wearing a Mason
Yeah.
shirt right now.
There you go, there you go.
There's you.
But always moving forward. Always. The one thing we've harped on a couple episodes now, which we only have a few episodes, so it's been most of them, is every day striving to be better. Striving to be better. Striving to make each other better. And this is one piece of that is compassion.
Yeah. Even if they do you wrong, it's still okay
Absolutely.
to make each other better.
Absolutely.
Right on, man.
So
Last thought,
that
you
was
got it.
compassion. We'll finish with dad advice. I've got something that I think fits very appropriately
Perfect.
for this. Don't be a grudge bearer. Holding a grudge is a book that is written in iron and chained around your neck. It is heavy, it is permanent, and it will weigh you down your entire life. Unclip the chain, let it go, and don't hold grudges. As someone who has held grudges, I've been really trying, still have a couple that I'm working on. Don't hold grudges. Grudges just hurt you, and they are a weight. I like to very much what I just said is I like to envision them as a book made of just metal that you're wearing around your neck like Flavor Flav. And it's just dragging you down.
Yeah.
And every time you add a name, you add material.
Release the weight.
Yeah. Get rid of the weight. So,
Love it.
all right. As always, guys, I am Zach.
I am Aaron.
Thank you very much for watching our episode on compassion. We will see you guys next time. Have a good one.
One love.